city. I blog, write-ups. I mean, pretty much whatever you need me for when it comes to the industry as far as like music or entrepreneurship. I mean, I'm there for you. I mean, my main thing lately has been, just covering events and stuff like that, interviewing artists, and as well as doing my podcast as well, called Several Questions with Stan, where I interview artists like Amore and just try to elevate people in the city. I mean, because exposure is everything. It's a good part of it. I mean, talent's one thing, but exposure, got to have exposure. Without exposure, you're just making music.
Facts. So in regards to like the exposure part, like what is like one of the, let's say the top 3 things that an artist could do to get some exposure, some good exposure?
Well, posts are one thing. I mean, it seems so many artists, they'll post. I'll say this, they'll have their personal page. Like me, I have my separate page for my personal page for people who know who I am personally. But you also have your business page and stuff like that. And then when you post to your business page or your artist page or whatever, just make sure that it's content. I mean, you could do a skit with somebody, you can post your music. It's just too many artists to be like, follow my page, and then you go to that page, and the last time they post was like 4 months ago. It's like, you have to keep that stuff consistent, posts, interactions. Your interactions will get better as you post more. So that's number one. Mm-hmm. Number 2 will probably be like, just get your whole EPK together. If you got somebody that that takes pictures, I know I'm always dabbling in that and stuff like that. Just if it's a photo shoot, anything, all of that stuff goes into your EPK. Means electronic press kit. Put your stuff in, like, get your EPK together. So when the big wigs come calling, it's basically a digital resume. You have your body of work set up, and everybody can see that he's done photo shoots, or he's connected with this person, or that goes into politics. I'll get into that. And I think number 3 would be stay humble. Stay humble and go to the showcases. I know at first I wasn't a big proponent of the showcases, but you have to have an arena where you practice, or because it's one thing to get into the studio and record and stuff like that, and nobody's around, you're just in the studio. But it's another thing when you get up on stage and your in studio ain't matching your live performance. That happens a lot. So that would be my big 3 right there. Is your social media interaction, your EPK, which is your digital resume, and just stay humble. Stay down till you come up. Don't get big-headed before you, ain't nobody pumping helium in your head right now. Just don't get big-headed, which I experience a lot. I see that a lot.
Well, I definitely had a question. I had a question I wanted to ask you. We see a lot of times in the music industry where artists get so big and everything, and then they have like these contract disputes where maybe they had a 360 contract, or like, how do people get like caught up in those type of situations where they're having to like buy out their self in the contract? Or like, what's your perspective on people signing bad contracts? Is it just like not having good like management, or what do you think?
Well, and from my vantage point and my opinion, and I love using metaphors, so you'll hear me say it a lot in doing this interview, but the music industry can sometimes be like the government, where they'll show you something, but something's going on in the back end. So when these artists get caught up in that, they get caught up in especially when it comes to contracts. A lot of these contracts are not good. Shout out to my mom. My mom does notary. She showed me how to read contracts and make shit legally binding. But you have these artists that, and I'm trying to use light words, but they get caught up in the women, the fast life, stuff like that. So when they see a contract, it's like, I don't care because this is what I want. But a lot of them either, I don't want to say don't know how to read, or they don't understand the language. So that's how they get caught up in those 360 deals. And then when everything comes back, when the recoil comes back, they're like, oh, I didn't agree to that. Yes, you did.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Didn't read. You're supposed to read everything. You just looked at, you probably looked at the advance. If there was an advance, You probably look at the perks and all that stuff, but you don't. What's the word I'm looking for? Labels use it all the time. The rees. I don't know why this word is leaving me right now, but when it's time recoup. When it's time for the recoup, artists don't understand the recoup. They only understand the front end. And most of them get caught up with everything that's the front end is usually in big bold letters that you can see. You're gonna get this up front, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get this. The recoup is always in fine print.
Yeah.
It's always on the line, like, you know, and a lot of artists don't even go down that far. They just see what they're gonna get right now. They know they're gonna get a chain. They know they're gonna get access to this place. They're gonna get studio time here. They're gonna meet this person, that person. You know, and they've been in the music industry, I say over the past 5 years, has told artists this, like, listen, labels and stuff like that are only a loan.
Yeah.
It's a loan. It's not a grant. Grants you don't have to pay back. This is a loan. So they're going off of what you've shown them now, which probably isn't a lot, you know what I mean? Because a lot of it nowadays is not even about lyrics and stuff. It's just about talent and exposure, which a lot of people can get.
Right.
But the recoup is sales, streams, stuff like that. And they're like, oh, why they show me on this amount of money? Because you didn't make this amount of streams. Obviously, your fan base wasn't what you thought it was. So now the recoup comes, and where's all those people that was pumping you up? Because I always say this, and Amore's heard me say this a lot. There's a difference between fans and followers. Big difference. Your followers are the ones that probably got you into those meetings because the A&Rs and the managers and all them execs, they're looking at those interactions beforehand. So now your fans are the ones that handle your recoup. They're going to be the ones that stream your album, that paid us X amount of dollars to go to your streams and get your streams up and actually make money for you. So that's where a lot of artists mess up. They mess up on the front line. They don't understand the recoup. So that's where a lot of artists mess up at, in my opinion.
Right. And it's so crazy because you would think that, like, well, me naturally, if I get any type of contract, I'm getting my lawyer to read it. I'm not going to try to, if that's not my lane, I'm not going to try to figure it out myself or just jump. Like, that seems so simple to me. Like, just get a lawyer.
It seems simple. Simple. But in all reality, like, let's be real here. Somebody got, boom, they have an opportunity. Even Sony wants to sign them. You know what I'm saying? People are just thinking, Sony, I'm going to get some money. They're thinking about the quick dollar. They're not thinking about the deficit that they're first placing themselves in. You putting yourself already in a negative without even, I'm not going to say not knowing, but being unaware, being, unknowledgeable because you aren't doing something so simple. Read. And if you don't understand, ask questions.
Let's be honest here. A lot of these guys are, and girls now, are from the streets. So the word lawyer or attorney, they don't want to see that stuff in criminal charges. So if you let your lawyer read a lawyer, they know lawyers cost money. Like when they get into trouble, they gotta get a lawyer. Lawyer costs money. So you have artists that try to cut overhead before they have any business. If you're starting a business, it's overhead. It's going to be profits and liabilities. Artists do not like hearing the word budget. They don't like hearing the word liability. All they know is whatever's coming to them. And that selfish mindset in the beginning of your career is where a lot of artists go wrong. And that's why a lot of them don't go to the top. So when you talk about getting a lawyer to read their contract, shit, my mother looked at it. She said it was good. Your mother don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, your mother, no disrespect, but your mother probably got in trouble back in the day. She don't know how to read contracts. She knows as a lawyer, and she had to hire the bail bondsman.
Yeah. And let them do the work.
It probably wasn't even a lawyer. It probably was a public defender. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these artists, they don't want to deal with legalities. And that's where they mess up at. They mess up on the business part. That's why I always say the business side is the best side, because they mess up on the business side. Everything is bright lights and stages and flashing the advance money, and then that advance money doesn't last for long. And then once that money's gone, The groupies are gone. Once the groupies are gone, it's just like, oh shit, you back to where you started from. The more you notice, there's a lot of artists that we both know that they've
I
been
ain't
through.
saying nothing.
No, we're not, but it's a lot of artists that I've seen, like, we thought they was gonna break that glass ceiling that Baltimore has.
And they hit that head and came right back down.
Yeah,
I've seen it too.
Yeah, they didn't get close. You know, they didn't even get to the ceiling. They didn't get close to the glass ceiling to break it. They didn't cut the DJs off. They didn't play their tracks. They spend too much time depending on their homeboy manager. And there's a lot of them that have homeboy managers. So when you're talking about getting, you can get your manager, like most managers that are really about their business understand how to read contracts. Because that's their angle, that's their business. They're supposed to be able to tell the artist, like, look, this ain't a good deal. We need to go somewhere else and this and the third. But if you got your day one, your sandbox, you know what I'm saying? He's reading your contract. Shoot, he didn't pass the grade no faster than you did. So how you gonna get him to read it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He just with it because he know he can get to the club with you off of your name and he popping bottles and stuff like that and probably still skimming off the top.
Mm-hmm.
He probably just a tad bit smarter than you. So I can speak on that too. Like the homeboy managers, I see it a lot. You know, you got the whole like, oh, don't talk to me, talk to my manager. Oh yeah. Oh, this your manager right here? Oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh yeah, I'll follow you. You go to that manager's page, there's nothing on there about the artist. It's
They don't
only
even
the man.
got like bookings in their bio and stuff.
No link tree, no Eventbrites, no nothing. All you see is the manager popping bottles and what he doing.
Right.
I'm like, well, who's the artist here? Is it the manager or you? He's living better than you is. So it's just, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Big
saying?
time.
And like I said, like shout outs to all the DJs that I know and all the DJs I don't know. Shout outs to the DJs, period. Shout
Yeah.
outs to the producers. Shout outs to everybody that tries their hardest to make the engine that is the artist move. But a lot of times that they put all that work in for nothing. That's why you have a lot of these DJs, these art and these producers that don't even want to mess with artists no more. They don't want to touch them no more. It's like, why am I wasting my time? Because you're dragging. It's one thing to drag in the streets, but if you're trying to attain something bigger than what you're doing, you got to want it for yourself. I myself, that's why I said I did A&R work before, but I quit that shit. I cut back on that because there's too many diva artists out here who think they're somewhere right now and they're not. I've been to more cities than they have.
That's crazy.
Crazy is not the word, but what's even more crazy is the scene of hip hop right now. Like, why do you think that it's so bad? Do you feel like it's tainted, or do you think that there's like some hidden jewels in this?
There's hidden jewels. I just feel as though a lot of artists lost their way and they decided to ball up the paper that was the blueprint to getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they've seen other people. See, everybody's gonna get there their own way, but lately a lot of people are trying to get there the one way. You know, and there's multiple ways of getting noticed and getting signed. And all I mean, ultimately the blueprint actually has changed. It has changed. I mean, you have a lot of artists that don't need a label.
Yeah.
They don't need
Right.
they don't need that. You know, they are their own. You can make it now independently. I mean, shoot, Lord John was showing them the way back then, but nobody wanted to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Lord John stayed independent. Everybody like, well, Lil Jon was signed to, he had a production deal with somebody. But as far as Lil Jon and the East Side Boys and anybody that was on their albums and stuff like that, that was all him. So, I mean, you might get help with distribution. That might be one thing, but now we got streams, so you ain't got to worry about CDs and albums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you go to what is that, BMI and get they got the artist account, but they also have the other account. You get that, and boom, you're your own distributor. You know, come up with a logo. You can be your own label You can be your own distribution company. You can have 3 LLCs and all of them be tied to you. So it's just sometimes it becomes a matter of being lazy. So that's why I say, so that's why I think a lot of artists lost their way, because everything got easy and they got lazy. The hard work and dedication that it took to get to the top is no longer there.
Man, I'm a super music fan, man. I never heard music this bad before. Like, usually you have 1 or 2 artists that you kind of like, what the hell are they doing? But it seemed like everything is gimmicks. Everything is over sexualized. Everything is just to a point where you don't even really like appreciate. Like when I was coming up, 90s baby, you felt the music. You can be able to pop a certain CD in when you're going through depression or hard times, or like, man, my homeboy was talking about this yesterday. When we was coming up, you had Jeezy and Boosie and all them. They was talking about hustling. They made us want to, get money and stuff like that. Now the music is teaching us how to use the drugs instead of sell the drugs. You get what I'm saying? Or it's just so weird to me, man. It make me feel like, dang, am I getting old? But I really honestly feel like the game is really like lacking substance in a lot of ways.
It is. And a lot of time and everything that you just talked about, they blanket all that stuff up and call it pain music.
Yeah, pain to my ears. Yeah.
But who's going through the pain? The artist or the listener? Because like you said, you listen to something that want to motivate you and hustle, but now I'm listening to pain music. So now I'm sitting up there with my whatever I drink, my Henny and my Xannies and we like, yo, shit fucked up. Your life is just crazy, yo.
Right.
I mean, listen to pain music and stuff like that, but it's not motivating. Like you said, it don't. A lot of music don't move me, and I've sat in meetings and stuff like that, and I've listened. I've sat there with. I had the privilege of sitting next to A&Rs who actually get people signed, and we sitting there listening to the same person. I mean, I had one story. I'm not gonna name the artist, but I endorsed them. I pumped them up. I'm like, yo, your music is, yeah. After like 2 or 3 songs, get them in front of the meeting. Oh, you got the songs? Yeah, I got the songs. Hey, play them. Completely switched all the songs that he let me hear. This exec now, and he's looking at me like, and I'm like, no, the fuck, he just didn't do this. Oh. And every song sounded the same. The cadence was the same. And then he happened to use that auto-tune stuff. Every like
hate it, man. I hate it.
And it's like you said, it's no substance there, but it's become so easy. Well, I'm not gonna say it's been easy for some, and
yes.
And the ones that it became easy for, everybody else is trying. Well, maybe I can go down that blueprint because it's harder. I mean, because it's easier. I don't have to deal with Listen, it's good to have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 local DJs in your back pocket.
Absolutely.
3 producers, maybe more in your back pocket. A couple of videos. You know what I'm saying? I have another saying that I know more have heard me say a lot on my live. It's the difference between a helping hand and a handout.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these artists, they be like, "No, Stan, I'm good. I don't take handouts. I'm getting this out the mud." No, you're stuck in the mud because you're confusing a helping hand with a handout. And a hand is not necessarily like me just feeding you or just showing. I'm trying to show you how to fish, or I'm showing you something that I might know that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for nothing back because I know once you do make it, you know what I'm saying? All I might ask for is an exclusive interview with you. Like, yo, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like, yo, remember when I did this for you? And I'm just gonna be like, yo, you should know.
Right.
It's an understanding. You know what I mean? That's when you deal with, that's when you know you've come of age and you're dealing with, I mean, not so much as grown folk, but just adult people. Understanding the business mindset. So yeah, like I said, it's a difference between a helping hand and a handout. And too many of these artists get it confused and stuff like that. You'll turn down something from like an interview right now with you guys. They will turn you down, but they'll go holler at somebody else that they'll do an interview with them and they won't even play it. It's not streaming nowhere. It's nothing. You can't add it to your EPK. It means nothing. But they did that interview with that person because they know that person through the hood.
Oh, we deal with that now.
Yes, sir.
We
Absolutely.
definitely deal with that now. So I feel you.
Absolutely. And even like piggybacking off what you're saying with the handout, or, and stuff like that, is like meeting you. When I met you, you know what I mean? It was the thing where I was the new kid on the block in a sense, you know what I mean? And I just was like, hey, I got this, I do music. I want y'all to listen to my music on that type of thing. And I'm not normally a person that be like, hey, my name is Amor and I'm an artist. But really, it just took that time. I can't hear you, Stan. So I don't know what you said.
I'm saying, but you came ready.
I did. But you know what? I'm so hard on myself sometimes as an artist. I don't even think most of the time I don't feel like I'm ready. But I know that I have the tools. You know what I'm saying? But there's a difference between having the tools and using them and just having the tools and not.
Right. But that's why I took you seriously in the beginning, because you had your picture on there, you had the QR code with the thing. I'm like, damn, like, I should. And I'm looking at my artist. I'm like, why the hell you ain't doing that shit? Why you ain't doing that? You see this? Why we not doing that? We gotta get you some QR codes. So that's why, I mean, when I first met you, that's why I took you so serious. I'm like, oh, she on her shit. And one thing is, I love to meet an artist on that thing, but the fact that you were a female too made it even better. Like, and then when I heard your songs, I'm like, oh my God, like, yes, like she got it together. Like you came at, like, you do what a lot of artists don't do. You to just say, yo, follow me, yo. You go into that dude page, he probably only got 2 posts on there. Ain't from 6 months ago. There's no QR code. There's no previous music that they put out. Oh, you got some songs already out? Yeah, I got some songs out, but they're not out right yet. But I'm like, how long ago did you record them? Like, and I'm not, without flying off the handle, but I'm saying, like, that's why I so seriously, is because you came at me professionally in the beginning. You already had your ducks in a row. Even if you didn't have them in a row, you presented yourself like you did.
Look, y'all, fake it till you make it, y'all. Fake it till you but don't be faking it a lot, because facades don't last, right, Stan? Facades don't last.
You wasn't faking it though. You had it in order, like you said.
Yeah.
All right, my boy. I appreciate y'all.
You had a picture on there, the same picture that's on the cover of her first project, or the project that I know of. It's that picture, right? I'm like, yeah, and she had the crown on and stuff. I'm like, yo, I got hit. This sound like something, you know what I mean? And then I got to see you live perform and stuff like that, and I was drawn in.
It was the shorts. It was the shorts.
No. I seen you way before the shorts. Way before the shorts, I seen you perform. The shorts is what took me over the top. But no, it's I heard your music and stuff like that, and then your energy on stage matched your professionalism studio wise, and we don't get that from a lot of artists. Don't y'all guys hate? And I'm sorry, because I know y'all interviewing me, but don't y'all guys hate the voiceovers? How many showcases y'all done been to where as though the lyrics are rapping for the artist? Artist not even rapping.
A lot.
He's
listening to concerts.
Yeah, he's listening to the background song, or he might put the mic down and no.
I do hate that. And they never know their lyrics.
I got cussed out before from, like I said, Stanley, next time you bring somebody music to me, or you introduce me to a video, because I do vlogging and stuff like that. So when I don't just record those videos just to post them on my page. Like, that is like, I take that to people. I in the short time that I've been doing this, I've been able to connect with people out of the city and stuff like that have prominent roles and big industry and big labels and stuff like that. And if they wanted to take me seriously as an A&R, I got to bring them something that actually works for them. But then I show them that, and they're like, Stan, do not send me nothing where as though the artist is not even rapping. Look at that. Half the damn song, he didn't even have the microphone to his mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's all good. Like I said, it's all fine and dandy when you're in the studio. But a lot of artists don't understand that live performances play a big part and you make it to the next level, because if you can't rock a crowd of 25 to 30 and let's say somewhere like the Garage or more, then how the hell am I going to take you to South by Southwest where it's 30, 40,000? It's not going to fly there. You're not going to buy that. You ain't going to open up. You're not even going to open a popcorn man. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to open up for none of the vendors there. You just there. Like, thank y'all. Follow me on. Man, anybody follow you nowhere.
Right.
I'm going to follow you right off the cliff.
Hey, yo.
No,
So Stan,
I do hate
like with your success and stuff, right? Like, what would you say was probably like the biggest failure, and what did you learn from that experience?
I won't say it's my biggest failure. I don't consider it a failure yet, but my one of my biggest downers was something like what I was just talking about. Like when I was doing A&R and I was dealing with artists, and I went into those meetings, and when I was in Philly, and then I had a couple in New York when I went up there, and I took artist music, and sometimes I had the artist with me, and the talking to that I got, and it was almost like a parent thing, where you got these guys that have been doing this for 15, 20 years. They didn't got all these artists that they had signed and went off to do big things. And they're telling you, so I was a little down about it. They told me what I did wrong and stuff like that, what I need to do better. And only reason why I would say it's a failure, not a failure, but a learning lesson. But failure in the fact that after I had that talking to with those execs, that the people that I was dealing with, I had to leave alone.
Mm.
They didn't want to do nothing to get any better and better themselves as an artist, which is not going to be, is a detriment to me because it's not boosting me up. A lot of people don't understand, like the people that are trying to help you, especially professionally, their name is attached to you. So
Right.
I consider it a failure because I couldn't get those people that I had so much belief in through the door. So that was my biggest failure, and that's what caused me to kind of fall back on doing the A&R and working closely with the artists and just crossing over to trying to do media, because I just felt as though I'm like, damn, I can't. I don't think I don't think I'm done yet with it. It's just I had to step back from it and do a little bit more studying, and media helps that because I'm able to get exposure and meet these artists and network with these artists before I actually like bring them in closer to me and try to put them closer. So if we want to talk about failure, that was my biggest failure, not being able to get the people that I had belief in to through that door and get signed.
I definitely want to add something too. I was thinking about YG Tech. That's one of like my favorite Baltimore artists because I was able to actually watch his come up. When I remember when people was saying like, bro, you don't got the voice for it. Your voice sound like a little squeaky or whatever they used to say. And now everybody love his voice and stuff. But I want to know, like, how do you know when you on?
Oh yeah. How are you?
Sorry about that. Go ahead. What you was saying? Say it again.
Yeah, but I was pretty much I'm watching him. I watched YG Tech come up and I see all the success that he has and everything right now. And I'm just trying to know, like, how do you know when you on? Because I feel like he on, but I kind of don't feel like he on because maybe I don't see him on the mainstream. But how do you know when you're actually on? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, shouts to him, shouts to Tech, shouts to Money Jake. It's a couple of guys like that. And it's hard for me to explain because I'm not in the artist mode. Mm-hmm. So like even talking about media, I can tell when I'm on. I know I'm not on yet as where I want to be as a media guy, but you'll get because you get the interactions. The interactions, the following, but he doesn't just have a following. He's one of those guys where, like I said, it's the difference between fans and followers. His followers are actually legitimate fans of his. Mm-hmm. They're not just following. They're not just on his page, liking his pictures. They're buying. They're going to his concerts. They're going to up there on 25th Street. They're buying his clothes. They're buying his merch. Basically, that's basically his merch.
He's walking now. Thank you.
And that's basically his merch and stuff like that. And that's when you know that you have that. I mean, I know what you're talking about as far as like him ascending and getting some guys. It's crazy because some guys don't. They want to stay, like I said, stay indie,
Yeah.
and some stay indie. It's a longer stride all the way to the top than somebody who gets piggybacked by a bigger label and stuff like that. They get the mass media blitz. They get the radio play, the national radio play. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, when we listen to YG Tech, he play on the radio when you at a club, or he play on the DJ gonna play him. Because another thing is you get in touch. That's why I say stay cool with all the DJs and get networking with all the DJs you can, because you ain't even gotta be in the building.
Yeah.
That song. Yo, and then somebody gonna come on, who that? Oh, that's YG Tech. Now, when you go to do a live performance, oh, I heard him somewhere else. Now I gotta go see him. He knows how to generate. He knows how to generate the buzz and get people anticipated for him. And that's what I was speaking to earlier when I talk about artists going to showcases and networking with DJs. You have to build up your. I don't know what you look like. I mean, I heard your song. It was okay, but now I want to see more from you. See, that's that hustler mentality. He just knows how to draw them in without getting everything. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so like Money Jake, he had this song Models with TMC the Don. You know, I mean, I know he's still working now. I'm not sure if he's signed anybody yet, but he's making, and then too, money. I try to stay away from that. Money. And I'm saying money in a sense of you have to invest in yourself. So another reason why people hone to somebody like a YG Tech is because they see that he invests in himself. You know, that no excuses clothing brand that he has. You know, that was his brainchild.
You still ain't subscribed to New Era 410 podcast on YouTube?
It's crazy about you.